their lives, not start over again. It's so they could continue messing up in the same way they'd gotten themselves into their situation. I can justify working with people like that. The people I'm after are the cancer patients who smoke in crowded public places and in cars with kids. I want the ones with no regard for others. The person who, despite having passed an HIV test with flying colors, continues clubbing looking for casual hookups, not warning others what may happen if they have unprotected sex together. The junkie that needs a fix more than a solution. The guy who'll destroy family and friends so long as he gets to be happy, so he doesn't have to give up chasing the dragon. I want them, not the ones who are trying, the ones who want to change and fix what's happened, who won't hurt others or make the same mistakes. Unfortunately for humanity, but fortunately for me, I have no problem finding large numbers of people to sell pills to. Those after a quick fix, a get-out-of-jail-free card, who continue to ruin their own lives along with any innocent bystanders in the middle. Fixing people with problems became my only path in life. Individuals who make the same mistakes despite how it hurts others. Finding them was easy. I did it the same way people advertise for garage sales or to find a lost dog or cat. I put up flyers. I hung them up next to posters of a rapper with gold teeth trying with his sold-out soul to intimidate next to hand-drawn second coming of Christ warnings. My signs are small pieces of paper with a telephone number. Not my number, just a number I use. It changes from week to week. Restaurants, hotel lobbies, coffee shops. I write on my calling cards a message such as AIDS or whatever I'm curing that day, followed by the number I'm using. Call Monday 2 to 5 p.m. Ask for. The name always changes, but it's never my name, just a name. The flyer's biggest selling point is the end. There's hope. All lowercase. Whenever I look at it, I consider calling myself. I target gay neighborhoods, Black American neighborhoods, and upper-class white neighborhoods. I never put up flyers in Asian neighborhoods. You never hear of Asians dying of AIDS. I intended to exclude Latinos, but I learned Hispanics make up 20% of the HIV population. Sometimes, with the homosexual Hispanics here illegally, the fear of deportation keeps them from getting help. Asians, it's odd, they're immune or something. They account for a smidgen of over 1% of the HIV cases in America. The only people with a lower percentage than Asians are Native Americans, and there are way more Asians here than Native Americans, odd as it is to think. Although I've wondered if there's a SARS antibiotic I could sell. I don't worry about the police replying to my ads unless they have a disease themselves. I never write anything about medication, as I'd need a license and it would raise a few flags if I were to advertise drugs of any kind. No cop I've ever met would bother with a handmade advertisement, no matter how desperate for ultra-low-level arrests. Signs in place, I make my way to the lobby of wherever I'm using my number that day. I tell the person at the front desk how important I am and that I'm expecting calls, and I tip them $20. On that first Monday, I get 12 calls between the hours of 2 and 5 p.m. I walk away from the phone, surely missing out on calls, but I have the number of people I need. People who involve others. A group on the verge of destroying random lives. These are the ones willing to call a number they found. I collect the information of those who don't care. Most important, I get the number of those with more of a disposable income than myself. I call them once I've figured out a safe place to meet, picking a time for everyone in hour-by-hour slots. I meet each person in a private you and me setting. At first, I watch from a distance, making sure no one's with them. Then I approach them, talk to them, and get to know them. See if they want a quick fix so they can go on hurting whomever, or if they want to change their lives and start over again. Finally, I decide if they believe what I'm selling. I need to bait a hook. Then find out if I take the hook and stick it in the side of their mouth, if I can drag them out of the water. To prepare for questions they might ask, before I put up any flyers or meet with anyone, I collect every hospital name within 50 miles. I practice how to casually refer to nearby facilities. I even go so far as memorizing the names of staff who've most likely helped people I'm going to meet, describing a quirk or a specific nurse that makes them stand out, all for the realism of my story. The nurse is imaginary, but it's a trait that if anyone thought about, they'd say, "Yeah, I know who you're talking about." It makes for a stronger world I need them to step into.